Have you ever looked back and realized you spent hours, maybe even years, than things that never really mattered? Time doesn't make a sound when it leaves, but when it's gone you feel it. What if I told you that every second you spend worrying about others is a second stolen from your own growth? Let me ask you something. How much do you truly value your time? When you look back on your life, are there moments that feel wasted? Time you gave away to things or people that didn't deserve it. The truth is simple, yet often ignored. Every moment in life is precious. Each of us is gifted just 24 hours a day. No more, no less. And the way we choose to spend those hours, every single decision, shapes the quality of our lives. Yet, far too often, we fall into the trap of giving our time away carelessly. We obsess over other people's problems. We scroll through someone else's version of success. We worry about the noise around us, while our own potential sits in silence, waiting for us to pay attention. But here's a hard truth. Every minute you spend focused on someone else's life is a minute stolen from your own growth. Your time is your most priceless asset. You can't earn it back. You can't pause it. All you can do is choose wisely how to use it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest minds in Stoic philosophy, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean in our world today? It means you don't need to control everything around you. You only need to master one thing: yourself. So instead of worrying about things beyond your control, why not build a stronger, more focused life from within? Today, I want to invite you on a powerful journey to explore 6 Stoic principles that will teach you how to stop wasting your energy and start focusing on what truly matters, yourself. But before we dive in, type this in the comments as a personal commitment. I focus on myself and stop wasting my time. Because that's exactly what you're about to do. Principle number 1. The hidden dangers of comparison. We live in a world flooded with carefully curated images of success, beauty, and perfection. Every scroll, every click, every highlight, reel, ... It whispers the same lie: you're not enough. Comparison has become a silent epidemic. It pulls us away from our own path and plants seeds of doubt. But here's what it really does: distracts us from the real purpose of life, our personal growth. Marcus Aurelius said it best: "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That quote is more than ancient wisdom, a wake-up call. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's timeline. Stop chasing a version of success that wasn't meant for you. Turn inward. Ask yourself, what does growth mean to me? Because every second spent comparing yourself to others is time not spent developing your own potential. And that's not just unproductive, it's self-sabotage. Time, once again, shows its value. It's not just what you spend, it's what you invest. The minutes you pour into comparing, doubting, or envying are minutes you'll never get back. And the danger of comparison isn't just emotional. It drains your mental energy, weakens your focus, and pulls your attention away from the one thing that actually matters: your personal journey. Picture this. Every time you look at someone else's life and feel behind, you step off your own path. You abandon your unique rhythm just to match a pace that was never meant for you. And in doing so, you don't just waste time, you lose yourself. So today, take that power back. Look at the clock not with panic, but with purpose. Let every second be a choice. A choice to grow, to reflect, to become. Comparison is a thief. Don't let it rob you any longer. We ended the last section with a powerful truth. Comparison steals time, focus, and joy. So what happens when you finally turn inward and begin focusing entirely on you? That's where the real work begins, because becoming your best self is a very different kind of challenge. It's not about flashy symbols of success, money, fame, or status. It's not about being admired or recognized. It's about commitment. A quiet, steady commitment to becoming the strongest, clearest, most authentic version of yourself. And here's the truth, no one tells you this journey. No one can walk it for you. It's yours. Completely personal. Unlike the filtered snapshots of growth we scroll past on social media, true transformation happens behind the scenes. It comes through small acts of self-awareness, consistency, and courage in a world filled with noise and endless comparisons. It's so easy to get distracted, to lose sight of your own path. But the moment you pause and begin to really listen to your inner voice, that's when real progress begins. Because self-awareness is the foundation of everything. Without it, every attempt at growth is like trying to build a house without a blueprint. You're taking action, but you don't know where you stand, what you need, or what direction you're headed. So ask yourself, how can you grow if you don't even know your starting point? If you don't fully understand your strengths and your flaws, you haven't taken the time to get honest with yourself. You'll struggle the moment life gets tough. The Stoics understood this deeply. To them, knowing yourself wasn't optional. It was essential to living a meaningful, ethical life. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." In other words, don't chase someone else's definition of success. Start with you, then build a life that matches your truth. And once you've developed that awareness, what comes next? Clarity, purpose, direction. You begin setting goals that actually matter. Not goals that impress others, but goals that align with your potential, your values, and your current reality. These goals don't have to be massive or intimidating. In fact, they shouldn't be. Because real growth is not about trying to transform everything overnight. It's about steady, step-by-step progress. You gain momentum not by giant leaps, but by small, consistent wins that build over time. Take the story of Oprah Winfrey, a perfect example of this principle in action. When Oprah entered the television industry in the 1980s, she was not a big name. She faced criticism, rejection, and even mockery from others in her field. But instead of comparing herself to other shows or hosts, she made a conscious decision to focus on her own voice. She leaned into her unique communication style. She connected with people not just on a surface level, but in a way that touched something deeper. She turned her show into a space for growth, healing, and meaning, not just entertainment. Through persistence and vision, Oprah transformed The Oprah Winfrey Show into one of the most iconic television programs in history, changing not just the industry, but the lives of millions. Her journey is living proof of what happens when you stay focused on your own path. She didn't let comparison cloud her purpose, and that's what you need to remember, too. Every time you set a goal, even a small one, you create momentum. Each small win is a message to your brain. I'm capable, I'm moving forward. That's how self-confidence is built. Not through perfection, but through progress. Over time, these victories add up. You begin trusting yourself more. And gradually, you stop looking sideways at what others are doing. Because your sense of direction no longer comes from outside. It comes from within. But comparison doesn't just waste time, it erodes your emotional strength. It makes you feel less than, insecure, behind. And the more you measure yourself against others, the more disconnected you become from your own worth. That's why choosing to focus on your own growth is an act of emotional freedom. You stop needing approval. You stop chasing validation because you know who you are. And that is more powerful than any applause. So, let me ask you, how much time have you wasted today looking at someone else's life? How many quiet moments were consumed by wishing you were somewhere else, or someone else? Marcus Aurelius gave us this timeless reminder: the key to a fulfilling life is not chasing the temporary ideals of others, but pursuing the development of your own character. So now's the time. Stop comparing, stop wasting, and start focusing. Because the most important project you'll ever work on is you. We often fall into the trap of wanting everything to be perfect: our actions, our results, even our identity. But this pursuit of perfection silently creates pressure. It drains our energy, makes us anxious, and ironically, holds us back from improving. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, didn't aim for perfection. They aimed for progress, because progress, not perfection, leads to inner peace and lasting success. When you see life as a continuous journey filled with imperfections, you begin to find strength not in flawless performance, but in small, steady improvements. And where do we begin? By dealing with negativity both from others and from within ourselves. Our environment might be toxic. Maybe you work with bitter people or face constant tension at home. But instead of reacting emotionally or letting that negativity poison your thoughts, you'll learn to detach. Like a Stoic, you pause, you stay calm. If someone criticizes you in a meeting, don't defend yourself out of pride. Stay silent. Reflect that silence. It's not weakness, it's power. It's proof you're in control of yourself. Because the moment you stop reacting, you stop giving others the power to ruin your mood. You protect your energy. You protect your self-respect. But sometimes the loudest negativity isn't from others, it's from within, the voice that whispers, "I'm not good enough. I can't do this." That voice is a lie. It builds invisible walls around your growth. And to make progress, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to confront those thoughts, replace them with better ones. When a task feels impossible, instead of thinking, "I'll fail," try this: "I'm learning. I'll get better with every try." That simple shift in mindset can change your entire path. It builds confidence. It creates motion, and motion is progress. Another thing that quietly blocks progress: the past, old wounds, regrets, guilt. We carry them like invisible weights. But progress demands we let go. Letting go doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you're done being chained to it. You're choosing freedom. Forgiveness is for you, not them. And just as important, build habits that nourish your progress. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Do things that energize you. Practice gratitude even on bad days. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before she became one of the best-selling authors in history, she was broke, unemployed, and rejected by publishers again and again. But she didn't give up. She kept writing, kept believing. She was thankful even in hard times. That mindset, habit of perseverance, is what carried her to greatness. And finally, don't forget the power of discipline and patience. The road to growth isn't always smooth, but it's not about speed. It's about consistency. Set small goals. Focus on what you can do today. Improve one step at a time, because at the end of the day, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be better than yesterday. That's enough. We'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you personally focus on progress over perfection? Let us know in the comments. Principle number 3, rejecting distractions. Imagine holding a gold coin in your hand. Would you toss it to a stranger just because they asked? Of course not. But every time we give our time to distractions, we're doing exactly that giving away. Something irreplaceable. Marcus Aurelius, with his calm wisdom across centuries, would gently remind us, any moment we let pass without intention is a moment we can never get back. Once it's gone for good. That's why reflecting on how we spend our time is not just important, it's essential. It brings us back to what truly matters and helps us cut out the noise that pulls us away from our purpose. In today's world, distractions are louder and more tempting than ever before. The endless ping of notifications, the flood of emails, the constant stream of videos, updates, and alerts. They all seem urgent, but most of them aren't. They're silent thieves, stealing minutes, hours, and eventually years of your life. Marcus Aurelius knew that to live with purpose, you must become a disciplined protector of your time. When you do that, when you stop letting others or outside chaos dictate your schedule, you send a message without saying a word. My time matters. And when you treat your time with respect, the right people will start treating it that way too. So, how do we begin to break free from distractions? The first step is awareness. Start by recognizing the little habits that eat away your time, the endless scrolling on social media, the automatic email checking, the meetings that lead nowhere. These are not just annoyances. They're time traps, subtle, but incredibly destructive. To reclaim your time, set clear boundaries. Create specific windows in your day to handle low-priority tasks like email or updates. This simple structure protects your focus and conserves your energy for what really matters. Think of it like setting office hours for your attention. But, let's be clear, effective time management isn't about stuffing every minute with tasks. It's about choosing quality over quantity. When you're working on something that demands your focus or creativity, give yourself the space to dive in fully without interruptions. This is where Stoic wisdom truly shines. The Stoics didn't just care about getting results. They valued the process, the act of being present and intentional in every task. Whether big or small, every moment spent on meaningful work is a moment invested in your future self. Over time, these intentional moments become habits. And like training a muscle, the more consistently you practice, the stronger you become. Start small. Just 15 minutes a day focused on a single goal without interruption can spark real change. Slowly, those short bursts build into powerful habits that carry over into every part of your life. But managing your time isn't just about what you do. It's also about who you allow into your space. The people you surround yourself with directly influence how you spend your time. If your circle constantly interrupts you, distracts you, or drains your focus, it's time to step back and draw the line. Epictetus, another great Stoic mind, taught that we must choose our companions wisely. Their influence can either support your growth or sabotage it. And sometimes, one of the most empowering words you can learn to say is this: no. Continuing from the last part, where we talked about protecting your time as the greatest act of self-respect. This next step is just as crucial: clearing your life of anything that stunts your growth. when you say no to relationships that don't support your growth, you're not just rejecting negativity, you're creating space for people who uplift you, respect your boundaries, and walk beside you on your journey of self-development. This is one of the most empowering acts you can do for yourself. Equally important is removing sources of negativity, not just from others, but also from within. Whether it's toxic people, chaotic environments, or even your own limiting thoughts. Negativity can blur your vision, drain your energy, and pull you off course. Imagine trying to run a marathon with weights strapped to your legs. That's what negativity does to your goals. Learning to identify and eliminate those negative influences is essential. Sometimes that means making hard decisions, like distancing yourself from a colleague who constantly undermines your efforts, or a friend who brings endless drama. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Because when you protect your energy, you're not just setting boundaries, you're honoring your worth. And that might mean having uncomfortable conversations. It might mean stepping back, or even walking away entirely. But remember this: your time, your peace, your dreams, they're not up for negotiation. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us that time is fleeting, and how we spend it defines who we become. When you stop letting distractions control your day, you reclaim the power to steer your life with intention. You begin to rise. That leads us naturally to the next chapter of this journey, perhaps the most transformative part: focusing on yourself. What would your life look like if just for once you poured all that energy you give to others back into yourself? This isn't selfishness, it's self-respect. It's a commitment to your own growth, your own goals, and the future you want to create. Let's dive deeper into that in the next principle. And when you begin to focus on yourself, what you need next is not perfection, it's discipline and consistency. Think of a student preparing for an important exam. There are days when they feel motivated, but there are also days when that motivation disappears. On those days, it's disciplined habits, not emotion, that keep them going, step by step. Discipline isn't a prison, it's the engine that moves you forward, especially when your initial excitement has faded. Alongside discipline, patience becomes essential on this path. Personal growth is never a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, progress and setbacks. Obstacles will appear, results will delay. But instead of getting frustrated, learn to be patient, because patience is what carries you through the dark stretches when nothing seems to be working. Picture the story of a gardener planting a seed. For months, they water it, care for it, and see nothing above ground. But they don't quit, because they know the roots are growing first, silently. Before the stem breaks through the soil and reaches upward, your growth is just like that. Quiet, gradual. But if you stay committed to the process, the results will follow. Just as important is learning to appreciate the journey more than the destination. Milestones are fleeting, but the habits, lessons, and personal strength you build along the way, that stays with you. Look at a marathon runner. Their pride doesn't just come from crossing the finish line. It comes from the countless hours of sweating, training, falling, and getting back up. They grew not because of the finish line, but because of the journey to reach it. And if you truly want to grow, you must guard your time like it's gold. Time is limited. You can't rewind it. Yet we often waste it on trivial tasks, shallow conversations, or distractions that bring no real value. Imagine this: if time were money, would you spend it so carelessly on things that don't build your future? Only when you treat time as an asset do you begin to see where it should truly be invested. To do that, you have to reset your priorities. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? If health is a priority, schedule your workouts and plan nutritious meals. If relationships matter, carve out quality time with your loved ones without being glued to your phone or overwhelmed by work. Every intentional choice is a step closer to living in alignment with your values. And that's how you make real, meaningful progress. Another crucial strategy: learn to say no at the right time. Saying no isn't rude, it's a form of self-respect and energy protection. Imagine being offered a side project you know won't serve your long-term path. Saying no politely keeps your focus intact and shows you value your time and your growth. Finally, boundary setting is non-negotiable if you want true progress. Boundaries are like fences that protect your energy and focus from being drained by external demands. Take the example of a freelancer who sets clear work hours each day. That boundary not only helps them work more effectively, but also preserves their personal life. Without it, they'd be pulled in every direction until there's nothing left for themselves. In the end, focusing on yourself is the most powerful gift you can give to your future. But it requires courage, discipline, and daily awareness. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, don't dream of the distant future. Use what you have and act today. So, what about you? What boundaries have you set to protect your peace and your progress? Feel free to share in the comments. Let's inspire each other to stay grounded and keep growing. You've started focusing inward, shifting energy from outside chaos to your own growth. Now comes the quiet reward, recognizing progress, no matter how small. Take athletes, for example. They don't wait for gold medals to feel proud. They celebrate the little milestones, running an extra mile, shaving a few seconds off their pace, or simply sticking to their training on the hard days. Every step, however small, reinforces their inner strength and builds the confidence that they're improving. When we view life through the lens of progress, even setbacks lose their sting. They stop being roadblocks and start becoming lessons. In Stoic philosophy, failure isn't a source of shame, it's a catalyst for growth. Marcus Aurelius often reminded us to see the formula of reality clearly. When things go wrong, don't get lost in frustration. Instead, pause and ask, what can I learn here? How do I need to adapt? That shift in mindset doesn't just protect your mental energy, it gives you the tools to grow stronger, more capable, more resilient. Focusing on progress also sharpens our ability to adapt. Life is unpredictable. If your mindset clings to perfection or safety, it will shatter under pressure. But if you train your mind to seek forward movement, you'll stay grounded even when the ground shifts. Picture a professional midway through a carefully designed project, then suddenly everything changes due to factors beyond their control. Instead of spiraling, they focus on the essentials. They rethink their priorities, find new solutions, and often they produce results that go beyond what they first imagined. This kind of mental flexibility, rooted in the commitment to progress, is a powerful asset in both personal growth and professional success. Another cornerstone of resilience is learning to embrace feedback, not as a personal attack, but as a guiding compass on the path of improvement. Think of a writer who shares their draft with a mentor. The feedback might sting, pointing out flaws in style, structure, or clarity. But instead of folding under criticism, the writer revises, sharpens, evolves. That openness not only improves their craft, fosters ongoing growth. A progress-centered mindset teaches us to accept imperfection as part of the process. Often, it's the fear of being wrong that paralyzes us, but Marcus Aurelius offers a timeless truth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Resilience is born from showing up consistently, not from instant results. Whether you're building a skill, a career, or a relationship, it takes time and effort. Like a gardener, you can't expect seeds to bloom overnight, but you still water them. You still care, because you know growth is happening, even if you can't see it yet. That kind of patience transforms the journey. Every small stage becomes a reason to feel fulfilled. Every effort becomes a part of your story. In the end, letting go of perfection frees us to feel real joy in the doing, in the trying, in the becoming. Progress is no longer measured by flawless achievement, but by the deep sense of alignment with who we are and what we're becoming. And over time, this shift builds more than results. It builds inner strength, the kind that doesn't break. When life gets hard, but bends, adapts, and rises stronger. Picture this: you're standing in a crowded room filled with noise. Everyone is chasing something: success, fame, recognition. They're talking loudly, eager to impress with what they've accomplished, but in a quiet corner sits one person, silent, still, eyes focused inward. He's not caught up in the performance. Instead, he's asking himself, is this truly important to me, or am I just trying to impress others? That image holds the essence of what Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, tried to teach. He wasn't just a leader, he was a man who deeply understood the value of patience and the quiet strength of focusing on what truly matters. The personal journey. When you stop chasing what you cannot control, you begin to see the truth. Self-focus is not selfish. It's clarity. It's choosing depth over distraction, purpose over applause. Every single day, you're faced with hundreds of small decisions: how to respond to a challenge, how to spend your next hour. These moments may seem minor, but they build who you are. Each choice is a brick in the foundation of your future. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." That reminder isn't just poetic, it's practical. It means that your inner world, your discipline, your focus is what will shape your outer reality. When you commit to what truly matters to you, you're no longer just existing, you're living with intention. Committing to your path is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, persistent, and often invisible to others, but it's powerful. It's like a marathon runner who doesn't care about the crowd or the clock. He runs not to beat anyone, but to conquer himself. With each step, he focuses only on his breath, his pace, his purpose. In the end, he doesn't just finish the race, he transforms through it. That's the power of truth in action. That's dignity in motion. Of course, staying on your path takes courage. Life will test you with rejection, failure, temptation, and in those moments, you'll want to quit, to compare, to seek comfort. But every challenge is also a gift, a lesson designed to strengthen you. Imagine climbing a mountain. Every scratch, every ache, every stumble, it builds you. It's not easy, but it's real. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you respect your own journey, you build quiet confidence. You free yourself from the trap of comparison. This doesn't mean isolation. It means alignment, knowing your pace, your path, your values. Instead of asking, "What do others think of me?" ask, "Am I living true to what I believe?" Think of a gardener. He spends years tending to one tree. He doesn't care about the gossip or the glory. He focuses on watering, pruning, showing up every day. Eventually, the tree blooms, and others admire it. But for him, the real reward was the journey, the quiet care, the consistency, the connection. Your path is like that. There will be moments of doubt, days when you feel like giving up, but every step you take, no matter how small, matters. Patience isn't passive, it's strength in slow motion. Trust in your process. Don't waste your energy on things you can't change. Every right decision you make today shapes a fuller, freer, and more meaningful life tomorrow. Throughout this video, we've explored the quiet power of self-focus and the wisdom of not wasting your time on what doesn't matter. These are timeless lessons from Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy. So now I ask you, what in your life feels like a waste of time? And more importantly, what will you do to change it? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this message, drop a 1 to let us know. If you have ideas for improvement, leave a 0. We're always open to growth. Don't forget to like, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to keep walking the path of strength and clarity. A new video is waiting for you. Below, click and continue your journey. See you there.